All right, everybody. If we had the cameras on beforehand, you would have had some show, but we didn't. So you have this shit piece we're about to talk about today on the rewatch. Going to try to not curse as much. I know they said kids are watching this thing, but I mean, I don't know. If you made your kids watch this, then you're a terrible parent.
They've done worse.
Yeah, no, I'm just kidding. Maybe I'm not. All right, listen. This is Jurassic World. It's the Fallen Kingdom. And it is the last movie that we are doing in this rewatch leading up to Dominion, which is coming out soon. We are, look, if you ever say that we didn't do anything for you guys, I'm going to point you to this video. I think that this is the worst movie we've watched and rewatched so far, including Batman and Robin. And we'll talk about it as far as why in a minute. Sorry. So
that's about as good as this movie was.
100%. So there's going to be a lot that we're going to be talking about with this thing. But again, if you didn't know, I'm going to smash myself in the face with a lemon pie. But we got to hit 50,000 by June 1st. And if you subscribe today, well, then maybe you can help that out. I mean, if you don't, well, I don't know what to tell you. So let's get into this. It's myself, it's Winston, it's Coy. We're in studio, and we're talking about Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. What's up, everybody? How you doing? Good. Can we just talk about Top Gun Maverick?
I need it in my life.
I want to see
I
it.
still haven't seen it yet.
You got it.
I haven't either.
Let's put the review up this morning.
No more screenings. I won't go.
Yeah, I'm so jealous.
I know.
I keep
Sorry.
hearing stuff.
I know. Kalinowski was in here yesterday yelling at me because he's like, "Okay, I understand that if you're going again, that's fine, but why'd you have to take Ellis? You guys saw it with Ellis last time."
Yeah, I saw that picture of you, and I was definitely like,
"Why'd you take Ellis?"
You and Ellis went together twice?
Yeah.
Oh,
well, because he took me the first time, and I took him the second time.
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah,
and it was look. This
you
movie.
can be his wingman anytime.
Mommy and Daddy get back together.
This movie was not for you. This movie was not for you. And it was hilarious because even when we didn't want anyone sitting near us.
Yeah.
It was like, just get the hell out of here. This is a movie like, and I know that we're supposed to talk about this fart piece, but we'll talk about it in a second. It is the best movie I've seen in 5 years.
I'm so excited because Everything Everywhere All at Once I haven't seen.
I have not seen it
but
yet. So
that's the first time I've felt like that. So to hear that happen again,
is wild.
You're gonna lose your mind.
I mean, this is my childhood. Like I literally bought a motorcycle because I wanted to fist pump an airplane.
Here's the thing: if you and I'm going to address you because I know that you're in the latter part of this, but if you loved Top Gun, the first one. I don't have. All I'm going to say is I can't wait to talk to you about how much you love it.
I can't. I rented a movie theater to play it for my birthday. Like, this is one of those.
That's great. Now, if you're someone who just found it a year ago,
I like it.
and just like it,
still gonna love it.
Still gonna love it because it is a especially if you didn't like the movie, you'll still love this movie.
Wow.
Because it is.
That's incredible.
Because it doesn't. Anyway, well, I really wish that we could do once you guys.
Well, we're gonna do that.
We are going to do a full review of it, spoiler review like we always do.
We're going to do a rewatch of the OG, right?
Yeah, we're going to do. That's next week. So for people who know, next week is the.
So if we do it next week, that'll drop the week before Top Gun. Do we want to wait and do it the week of Top Gun?
I don't know. What the hell can we do next week? You know what? Hey, ask the audience right now. Why don't you guys suggest something that we rewatch for next week, and then we'll do Top Gun the following week. We got to suggest something, and we'll look at it, and it's got to be something that's gonna, other people are gonna want to watch. I don't want to put something random up. That review my do the rewatch of my 8th birthday. So no one's gonna watch that.
Because theoretically, if we do Thursday the 26th, it drops the 27th. So we'd want our Top Gun to be leading.
Yeah,
up. So next week's the 19th.
We could start the Rocky stuff.
No. I have to be
around.
honest. And I didn't want to blame you, but I might as well blame you on air. I think we started Jurassic Park too early.
I agree with that. That wasn't my fault.
I'll show you the text.
Just show it to me then.
I was wondering how this happened. I was wondering because I did the math for Batman, remember? And I was real proud of that Batman math.
Bring the motherfucking receipts.
You know that text is going to be in a graphic on this show. You know that text is going to be a graphic on this show by the time this is done.
And I'm so ready.
It's true.
Because I got the Batman receipts because I nailed that time.
Hold on. I'm a grown-ass man. Ask this man what I did. He said, tuna and mac and cheese isn't as bad as you need to try it. And I said, fine. And I tried it. Did I like it? Not really, but I did it.
Because you're grown.
Because I'm a grown-ass man.
Hey.
So bring the receipts, Kristian Harloff.
I will.
You're right here, but I'm going to look you right here, bro.
Here we go. He's diving back a month.
So let me ask you. Why do we bring all this up instead of the movie?
I wish I knew.
Oh, I know why.
Oh, I know exactly why.
All right,
We're trying to save ourselves.
All right, the one thing that I will say is, and I think I lied when I said it out loud before. I was like, this won't be very long. I feel like this is going to be longer than most because
there's a lot.
We were complaining about each one of us looked like we just came out of jury duty while watching this movie, and it is so bad. And I remember telling you guys, and if you guys have been watching this rewatch, when I was telling Coy and I was telling Winston, I'm like, just wait. And
neither of us had seen it. Just in case this is your first episode.
So we're going to talk. Well, I want to get their perspective on it, but I will say this, that I kept saying to them, and if you've been watching this series, then you will recall that I said the opening scene with the water scene with the big dinosaur is pretty great. And then I started watching, because my wife started watching me. She's never seen it before. So before she went to sleep last night, she went to bed around 20 minutes in with the idea that this was a decent movie.
What a great way to watch it.
Because about 20, 30 minutes into the movie,
still having a good time.
It's not that bad.
Yeah.
Like the stuff that.
Speak for yourself.
Well, I know that you had an issue with like the PETA stuff and all that, which I can understand, but the stuff on the island is just kind of a generic Jurassic Park 3,
which is way better than where we go.
This movie turns into a $250 B movie with bad music, a monster, bullshit.
Spooky vampire.
It's, with the Nosferatu claw.
That
it's
10-minute
terrible.
sequence is one of the dumbest sequences I've seen in a major movie.
Which
and the
one?
dialogue. The one where the vampire dinosaur goes in through the window and does it all sneaky after he's been rampaging the whole movie. Literally up until that point, he's trashing stuff. And then all of a sudden he's like, I've got to be spooky. And then he comes in like Bela Lugosi and he makes a shadow, looks at a shadow, and then comes in and he doesn't ravage. He just like slowly is like, hello, little girl in the bed that is suddenly not hiding in a dumbwaiter for the 7th time. And why is this work? What is this movie?
You're focused on the wrong part here.
The dumb girl?
That is the stupidest fucking child.
She's hiding in the bed.
That has ever
she hit the
been in a movie.
6 times.
And just to be clear, not the actress herself. The
actress is fine.
All of the characters. But dude, all of the characters
Everyone.
In this movie are stupid.
And the dialogue is so bad.
They made Justice Smith, who is awesome and so likable and great and dope, and he's just such a great actor. His character sucks, and in the whole movie he's just doing this.
It's insane how unlikable they make this.
If I had seen this before I had seen Detective Pikachu or Dope, I would have missed out on him. I would have instantly been like, fuck both of those movies.
Yeah.
Because
he's charming.
Because he is a charming dude, and they ruined him.
He's terrible, and every character. Even the only Chris Pratt is doing an audition for Indiana Jones,
and he's been the whole time.
Yeah,
like in the first movie, he was doing it light. This one, he's all the way in.
Bryce Dallas Howard is just. She's better. Her character's better in this movie than in the first one. She's got more of like a moral compass. They realized how dumb
it was to make her like Doctor in heels.
She's probably the best in this movie because even the other girl who was like I loved the character and the idea of.
They write her so cliche,
but she's so cliche. She's over the top. It's just like, like I'm overly tough, and anything you say to me, it's like you gotta have some kind.
And you've also got to have an arc. Yeah, you have to grow into that.
Yeah, there's no arc to her.
The guy hadn't turned evil yet, and she's yelling at him, and I was like, he's not bad yet. We know as an audience, but like, not yet.
That's Buffalo,
then we get
and that's Buffalo Bill.
Yeah, Buffalo Bill.
You knew he was going to be bad. The only time he's not bad was when he was in Heat as the cop.
Yes.
But every other time, if you cast him, and especially because we've seen that role a million times.
InGen is always going to be a bad. And that's another thing. The twist is the exact same. Not even a twist. The exact same plot beats. To the point where I think they use Blue's same CGI at the end. I'm pretty sure
because he's rescued when he rescues.
When he jumps on the back of the T-Rex, I think they used that with the Velociraptor T-Rex and just replayed it on a smaller dinosaur.
It's terrible.
It's so bad.
I'm not gonna let y'all get away with bashing this child because she was that bad, bro.
The character.
How is it? The character. The actress is fine. You did fine, little girl. Congratulations. You did a great job. You were a blockbuster film.
Winston hates
character though. Your character is dumb as fuck. All right, I said it to you, you small child. Listen to me. Look. All right. You found all the records. You found all the hidden videos of Blue growing up and all that, and yet somehow you thought when the raptor was ravaging up the stairs, hiding in your bed.
Well, wait. To be fair to her, Chris Pratt then lays in bed with her too and goes, I think Blue will get here eventually because she hasn't done anything. We gotta wait for Blue. And then, like, even at the beginning,
he's been hitting the head a lot.
I'm telling you, man. And then the stupid monster movie that they make for this thing and how dumb Buffalo Bill's supposed to be the smart.
He gets in the cage.
First of all, that whole scene is so ridiculous. There's the one stuntman and goes, "Hey, I've been on set for 2 days. Nobody's like, hey, you want to get thrown into some chairs? Yeah, throw me into some chairs." So they throw the stuntman into some chairs, and then they just leave him alone.
Here's
Then
a SAG voucher.
Chris Pratt unleashes the hammerhead dinosaur on everybody,
For fun.
and then
while doing a Daredevil.
Yes,
Yeah.
but then disappears. Yeah, right. He's flying. He's doing
everybody.
Superman
Yeah.
punches. He's doing.
He's suddenly very acrobatic.
He's doing all that, and he's flying through. And that was the Indiana Jones thing. He even says to Justice Smith, the one was, "All right, you all right, kid?" And it's
Yeah,
like, you might
we see the vest, bro.
Yeah,
We know what you're trying to
so
do.
either way, so all of that, he unleashes it because and he makes sure that he stops because he doesn't want to let this hybrid dinosaur out.
Right.
And then he just leaves, and then the cliche nonsense of everybody screaming and yelling, going, "Bad extras do this!" And then you have Buffalo Bill just, "Look at me, I'm the tough hunter. I'm just standing watching." Because I'm tough and I've been through this before. So what are you going to do? Well, I figured this thing that I don't know what it is, I'm going to shoot it 3 times. Why? Well, why not? Okay, that's part one. Then I'm going to wait to see if it falls asleep. Oh, it did. Okay. So what are you going to do now? Well, I figured this is the perfect time to get one of its teeth for my necklace.
On top
Also,
of the fact
it's going
What?
to smile at me.
And-
when the
yeah.
dinosaur smirks twice.
Because it's smart, Coy. It's a smart
doesn't have
dinosaur.
those muscles.
but you telling me that he didn't hear from nobody beforehand that this is the smartest
No, he didn't know.
dinosaur
Remember,
they've ever made?
remember
He's
because
like,
he
"You're
walks
not
out.
from
He
the
goes, I
island?"
didn't see it from this island. He didn't
it
know.
does a little tail thwip and then a little
Come on,
smiley
let's not
face
take away
twice.
some of the good
But,
writing.
but I'm
Let's get
trying to
some
say,
exposition in there.
He wasn't then as the bodyguard in the auction room. He didn't
Where
see
did he
none of
go?
that.
He walked up
Where did he
going, "You
go?
owe me my bonus."
He
Dude's
went-
walking up going, "You give me my bonus." The dialogue.
As everybody,
so on
as
the-
everybody's dead. And,
Also,
Yeah, he disappeared. He went to Olive Garden. Where was he?
Toby, what's his name? Arnim Zola, who's
Who?
like the little guy, the
Yeah, yeah,
auctioneer
Arnim
guy.
Zola.
Oh,
Arnim
yeah,
Zola,
yeah.
who's like,
No, that's not-
I know.
oh, you-
Toby Jones.
Yeah,
Toby Jones.
Yeah,
Right.
he plays Arnim Zola.
in
And
MCU.
right.
So like,
Too many names.
I got you. But so he.
That stupid Trump haircut that he
Yes.
has and everything.
So
yeah.
he's like, "I'm an auctioneer and I know more about money than you'll ever know."
Right.
And then he's like, "These dinosaurs are worth $4 million. I'm
Right.
like, a dinosaur skeleton is worth $4 million. A T-Rex skull that's dead
all of
is
that.
worth $4 million.
And let's-
Why do you
and-
think living dinosaurs are worth nothing?
And if you're gonna smash the character of the little girl, the only reason I give her pass is she's got my daughter's name, so I leave her. Alone.
I see why you're.
But how about
try.
the cliche dude that's working for the what's the partner's name? The old man who winds up dying, Maisie's father, I guess.
Pig in the City. What's his name? Sam
I don't-
Cromwell.
Not
Steve
Cromwell though, but not Cromwell. Who the main villain in this thing? Who winds up going to
Who
that guy?
gets ripped into like 5
Yeah.
pieces. That was fun.
That guy's terrible too.
so bad.
He's
And his
so
dialogue
bad.
is
Like, everything
rough.
that he does is so bad. It's so cartoony. This movie,
He's so mustache twirling, and it's obvious from the
this
beginning.
whole movie is mustache twirling.
yeah.
The other thing that I don't get, I understand that rich people want to get richer, but if you have all this money to make all these dinosaurs, to put all this shit together, to act like all of a sudden adding another 10 million is going to really do something for you.
Well, for him, remember, that guy wasn't rich, though. That guy wasn't rich. He was trying to be. He was trying to
All
take
right,
over.
yeah.
So
All right.
his motivation behind it,
Sure.
okay, fine. And the fact that you duped her, okay, fine. Why? Because everyone in a Jurassic Park movie dupes it. That part of it. But this is why I do like the first movie, Jurassic World.
So special.
No, not Jurassic Park.
Oh,
Jurassic
God.
World. Because Jurassic World at least stayed to the basics of the skeleton, right? And the skeleton being, okay, look, this is they finally got the park open. They're finally doing it. And yeah, it was a little bit more of that big blockbuster feel.
Sure.
And still understand the criticisms for that, but at least it stayed inside the skeleton. Even this movie that's
First
coming out.
half.
Yeah, but
looks like the skeleton. This one. I'm
talking about no. I'm talking about the first. Right, the first half
That's
of
what I'm
this
saying, the
movie,
first half of
or
this
the first
feels like-
30, 40 minutes, does stick to it. But the problem was, if you stay, and I get this, if you stay there, it's just the same generic movie. That's why they should have shifted to this thing that they're doing where the dinosaurs got out.
Yeah.
In that movie,
I'm saying the
I mean,
fact,
$1 billion says "Shut up, stupid."
the fact that
Yeah,
it
clearly.
starts with the whale dinosaur, whatever the hell that thing is, getting out. That is your movie. You
Right.
just set the Meg loose.
Right.
Yeah, and then we don't talk about it till the end
And
when he's
now-
eating a surfer.
But
Do
look,
a
can we-
goddamn Jaws hybrid. What are you doing?
First of all, how did that thing get to eat the surfers? How did it make it all the way there?
all the way out in the ocean.
How did it make it there?
The
Does
gate
anyone
was
know?
opened,
Do you
and
not
it's-
remember the gate was open in the beginning? That's how it got
And
out.
I know, but it made
just
it.
swam for 3 days?
It just kept swimming.
It's a giant dinosaur whale. Are you? This
Okay.
is what you're hung up on.
No, I'm
but
way
come
more
on.
hung up on. They haven't
Hung up
made
on this movie.
The Velociraptor T-Rex combo took 3 days to cook. They were like, we're gonna make this thing, and then all of a sudden the thing's fully made. And they're like, we're gonna sell this thing. How did they make an entire dinosaur? How did it grow from baby to adolescence? How did they get the DNA code from Blue when Blue's still bleeding out in the thing?
Right.
How did any of that happen over the course of the time that they were
It's a
trapped? in the-
prototype
So that
what?
means it takes a minute.
I
like
don't
we
know
had
what
it
you mean.
cooking. Is it an easy bake
I have
oven
no,
dinosaur?
I have no answer. That's
Press
how
five?
I'm going to answer everything. My wife goes, "Why didn't you take out the garbage?" I'm like, it's a prototype.
It's a prototype.
So it's a prototype. Between that and I wish I knew. I wish I knew it's a prototype.
Prototype. It's a prototype. I wish I knew. I wish I knew.
Here, ready, Georgie? Here we go.
I wish I knew.
It's a prototype.
George, we're evolving. Clooney, add your prototype.
Holy crap! I mean,
It's
this is
so bad.
It's just a bad movie. It's just
and like the first half,
so
like
bad,
you were
dude.
right. I was hoodwinked in the first 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And then what happened was, then the next half hour on those first 5 minutes was still interesting for me because I was like, okay, they're trying new things, but they're still playing with the characters. I'm invested enough in the idea of why they're rescuing the dinosaurs, and
Yeah.
you add the ticking time bomb on the volcano. Of course, it's a dumb sequel. Of course, that's way too much.
But it was in the-
at
but it
least
was in the
I'm
blueprint.
interested.
It was in the
and it was
blueprint.
at least in canon.
Yes.
It felt right. And then
Yes.
as soon as they're off that island, so dumb.
Yeah, Winston
disagrees.
Winston is
Here's
no.
the
is
thing.
no, yeah.
I am very, very pro animal rights.
Yes.
I do not fuck with PETA.
Yeah, I'm
Is Peter part
I'm
of this
very
movie?
pro how I fixed your camera. Your camera looks good.
Yeah,
It looks
great.
great. It looks great.
Look
Look
at
at
that.
you
You
not
should have
in
seen
the
it
garage.
beforehand.
So I say that, and the fact that we're like, Jeff Goldblum goes, "Hey, they were extinct.
Let him die.
Let them go."
Which makes sense.
And they go,
He even
"No."
said, Pratt says it too.
Exactly.
When he said, she goes, "Don't you want to? Don't you think you're just gonna let Blue die?" And he goes, "Yeah,
Yeah, and then at the
And
end,
then
he
she
tries
makes
to
him-
let them all die again.
right."
The
They
little
all
girl's
do.
the only reason. And that little
And this
girl
is what I'm
clone
saying.
telegraphing twist from the beginning.
Well, yeah. Well, first of all, let's talk about the clone thing. Let's talk about the clone thing.
Why?
Because, well, I mean, I guess the pain behind it and cloning your daughter and everything too, if you can do it, and the riff, I just think it was sloppily explained. But the idea behind it, I get it. Like, if you knew how to clone people, if you knew how to do it, and you knew it was going to be flawless, and you knew it could work without Pet Cemetery type shit happening, and your daughter passed away, and you could do it, I could see that happening, and I could see the rift between him and Hammond happening. So I didn't mind that. It was there's a big twist. What is it?
little picture they keep hiding?
She sees the picture, and then it's like, okay, the second you see that picture, everybody goes, oh, wait a minute, she's a clone. And then
20 minutes
20
later.
minutes, half an hour later, oh, I guess you didn't know this. And everybody goes, she's a clone.
And you
Yeah.
knew from the moment
Like,
they hit
what?
the photo. I mean, it was
Yeah,
a very
of course.
telegraphed
Here's-
for movie watchers.
Here's my question. I'm sure the clone has a little bit of an existential crisis because it's like, am I human? Whatever, right?
We don't talk about it. though.
Unless that clone can now go, it can control the dinosaurs.
No connection to
Who
dinosaurs.
the fuck cares?
And that's the third
What does
movie
it
I think
have
they wanted to do.
with
They
the
wanted
film?
that. I think they
Well-
wanted to go there. They wanted
They-
the dino hybrids.
No. What did it have to do with the film? Because they had to have a kid. Because that is
That is-
part of
and
that
with
is
DNA.
part
You have to
of
have
the
kids.
blueprint.
Yeah,
that
and
is
Justice Smith's too old.
at least that's right.
Just too old.
At least he just and because that was not his purpose of it was to be like the tech guy
Right.
who helps out and that whole relationship between him and that girl. I see what they were trying to do. They were trying to say these people who have this kind of
Friction.
yeah, and then by the end he saves her life, and she's like, but she's so like cool, where she's just like, thanks, man.
I don't
And-
feel.
I don't feel, and it's like it's like that whole thing, and then Blue comes in, they let Blue out. It's such a they don't even try to play in the realism at all. Like even in the first movie, yeah, it's a big blockbuster movie, and of course you got to suspend a lot of disbelief.
Yeah.
But they make the characters and the arcs real enough and emotionally that you're invested into it. And each time, every movie from 2 after rewatching this to 3 to Jurassic World to this, we are in a phase of Jurassic Park right now that is pure popcorn, Fast and Furious spectacle. That now.
The
You
second
have
half
to
evolved so much faster, though. The second half is exponential.
100%, but it does, but it plays into the evolution, pun intended, of this franchise.
Yeah.
You have to go into Dominion not expecting a lot of development in characters. You can't expect a lot of emotion. You got to expect just grab a big, huge tub of popcorn and watch dinosaurs go eat each other, and hopefully it's not monster dinosaurs, and it's
Right.
actually because they're like, well, people are tired of T-Rexes now. T-Rex comes in, does the same thing every
He
time,
poses
eats
like he
somebody,
does in the first one.
and then screams at somebody at the end. He's like my dog after he takes a dump on the lawn. he made,
The dude and the T-Rex.
yeah, that's it.
Bro, what's so interesting
I
is
want to hear your
see
fuck Peter rant.
Because
Because fuck PETA. I'm with you. I just want to know where you're going with it.
the methods in which they go about it.
Oh,
So,
they're
like so
evil corporate.
Let's and I know that we're f-bombing all over the place. Let's try.
I'll try and rein it
so
back
sorry.
in. But all that being said, you look at the very beginning that this man that has over and over and over told you this needs to stop. Let them die.
Goldblum, you're talking about?
Yes,
Yeah.
Goldblum specifically. Let them die. Like, no, they're not real animals.
Well, but wait a minute. But first of all, the Congress does say, okay,
No.
Let him die.
yeah, let him die.
Yeah,
They
I
do.
remember.
It's basically Bryce Dallas Howard and everybody else.
her whole crew.
But they are real animals, though. That's the thing, and this because the girl's a real girl. That's the
Right.
whole. That's the
that's
point.
the parallel.
That's the
It's
kind
the
of
fact
stuff
that they're living creatures.
But that's the thing.
And I did like how
it's
they
a matter
humanized the
of
animals.
yes, and that's the thing that you will have to kind of morally ask yourself. That's the part of the movie I actually did like.
Yeah.
Where you have to ask yourself, like, it's a matter of your belief as well. Like, do you believe in the way that life is created? Is that a real person, or because God didn't create him, doesn't have a soul? Like there's a lot that goes into that thought.
More than they looked at.
Yeah.
Let me amend my statement in the sense that these are living beings, sure, but they are monsters. They are straight up.
They're
monsters.
created.
They're created. They're created beings, but they're monsters that have straight up annihilated every person that has attempted to make them be a thing.
Not all of them though. Like I mean, look.
Chris Pratt's still out there with Blue.
Yeah, as JT would say, the Triceratops tops was
Perfectly docile.
Yeah,
hanging out.
But a lot of them, I mean, and then I don't know, they're not called brontosauruses. I don't know whatever they're called.
I mean, that was extremely
that
sad.
shot was gorgeous.
When you pulled off and it was screaming, that
one of the best shots in the franchise.
Right.
I get it, and I get the whole
heartless.
Maybe I am.
Winston hates kids and animals.
You know what,
kids and animals.
It's true. There's a pattern here.
It's more what it is. Maybe there is. It's more what it is, bro.
Send this to your lady.
It's the go ahead. As long as it's not about dogs. I love dogs. I genuinely do. This whole aspect of I'm gonna go in the mountains and then the mountain lion attack me and then he's on a rampage because he's got a thirst for human blood. We have to save that mountain lion.
Yeah.
Nah, that mountain lion is a monster now.
And in this case, the mountain lion's
fault.
not part of the food chain. In this case,
go.
the mountain lion, we did this. Like, we brought the mountain lion into this suburb. Yeah, it's going to be a problem. Oh, by the way, there's 65 million year old mountain lion. So, like, I see that logic, but I also see the humanity they put with the dinosaurs. That was interesting. But at the same time, at the end of the day, what we've chosen to do as human beings is hubris, which is what the franchise is about.
I get it. I think the thing that bothers me is I keep thinking about it from the lens of old school 90s black comedians talking about white people in horror movies being like, what was that noise?
Oh, we run
I'm
upstairs.
going to investigate. And then
Split
when you all get killed, you're like, well, what happened? How did this go down? And I'm like, none of this had to happen.
We talked about it with the cast of Jurassic World. Is real white because that's more realistic for the choices. Yeah. So here we are.
But everything about the movie, like, and everything about it, like the choice, like, and I will say, J A Bayona, who directed this movie, is a great director. He directed a Monster Calls.
Yeah, which I enjoyed a lot.
Fantastic film.
Monster Calls?
A Monster Calls, yeah.
Wow.
It's a fantastic
Just by
film.
spooky raptors in here.
But this is where a lot of times I think directors get blamed. And I don't know if this is fact. It just seems to me where they bring in a guy who had that kind of, he's coming off the success of that film, and they go, hey, we'd love for you to do this. And he's like, okay, well, what are you looking for? We want like a big, over-the-top kind of monster feel. Here's the script. Shoot it. And he's like, okay. So you want like over the top? Like, what do you want?
Yeah.
And then that's what he gave them, right? And you're like, it's a terrible job directing. But that might be, and I could be wrong. But that might be exactly what he was asked to do.
Mm-hmm. I would imagine it is. And I imagine the script was written on napkins. It's not a thing
Trevorrow
that feels
wrote
cohesive.
the script, co-wrote the script.
It is.
And
that also might just be tied to the original Jurassic World 2
I don't know
script,
what it is, but it is.
He was attached for a while.
This is over the place, dude.
No, he was never supposed to do the second movie.
Oh, I thought he was.
No, I remember.
thought he left.
No, he didn't leave.
Did he leave the third one?
No. So he was on the first movie.
Okay.
And then it blew up. He was always on as a producer and a writer, but then he got Star Wars. So
That's where he left.
So he was going to do Star Wars instead, knowing that he wasn't going to direct the second one. And then I guess after Star Wars fell through, they brought him back to do the third one.
And I like that little Cretaceous thing he did. Like, I'm hopeful.
I'm
like
hopeful
that
also.
Short.
I mean,
Cretaceous thing?
There's a short where it's like a 10-minute short with the
it's
T-Rex
good
and stuff.
And, yeah,
like
it's good.
in the world, like basically they're out in the world.
It starts out in that trailer park. And
yeah,
it's good, and that's where I hope that we stay. That it does make like the good news is that this movie is 2 hours and like 8 minutes. It feels 4 hours, but it's 2 hours and 8 minutes. The next movie is like 2:30 or something.
Yeah, we talked about that when we were talking about
that. Makes me nervous.
Strange.
It makes me nervous
because the Doctor Strange thing, we were right. It needed to be longer. Now I'm worried that we were right and this needs to be shorter.
So funny. I saw someone comment on the other day about Doctor Strange. Like, you guys wanted this to be 4 hours long, but Doctor Strange, I said, 15 minutes would have been fine. 15 more minutes. It would have been fine. 2, you had too many expectations of this movie, but 2, when a movie's called Multiverse, I just had expectations of what I thought would be. It's like,
Did you do that for every?
he did 3 points. I did 3 points.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
What was the third?
I can't remember.
I've enjoyed Kristian going to the dark side in comments.
No, but I haven't been going dark side.
You're not
though.
as bad as me.
But I haven't been going dark side. For positive conversation, I'll answer right. Like there were people many times over on our Doctor Strange thing that was like, "Hey, I don't agree with you guys, and here's a reason
saw a lot
why."
of that.
And I said, "Dude, thank you or lady, thank you so much for being so respectful or just intelligent in your
All
conversation." It's the thing of just like, "No, you're wrong, you stupid asshole," and it's like, come on. And
Yeah.
like I said, I'm not gonna start arguing, yelling at people. Like the one guy who actually wrote back and thought it was funny too, but he wrote back and he said. He goes, as soon as they said Bruce Campbell showing up was a bad idea, I was out. And I went, fuck yeah, man, take a stance. and he laughed.
Prime
But he
commentary.
laughed. And it's like, that's the type of stuff. I'm gonna now, I've decided, talk to people.
The way they talk to you?
No, I'm gonna talk to people the way I talk to my friends if someone said it like
fair.
that. And that's
Yeah.
what I have been doing and enjoying myself. Is we get these spam comments that come in about, and they're in different languages, and
About buy a woman now.
whatever
Click
it is.
here for blah 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 photos.
I've been responding to them, even though if you go back on our last video and you'll see I've been responding to them, even though they don't respond, they're not even looking at it. And,
Yeah.
I went, and it's in different language, and I said, "Really? I didn't know farts could power high air balloons, right?" And then I said, and someone wrote back a long thing, and I go, "That's interesting. Bagels are on sale everywhere on Wednesday."
Bro, that is
So the opening of this show is what you're reading in the
Hold on.
comments.
Yeah.
That is a great exercise to practice your goddamn
Improv.
improv.
That's what I've been doing.
That is
It's
so
stream of
good.
consciousness comments.
I no longer delete spam. I respond to it.
I love that. You're engaged with chaos. Free form commentary.
and it calculates as a comment on the channel.
Yeah, the algorithm. You're boosting me. Thanks for the help.
I'm responding. So by the way, you want to entertain yourselves? Go back to the last video. I guess it might have been Top Gun or the other one, but before it, I've been responding. And we will get spam on this one. I will respond to it 100%.
While you're watching this movie, check the spam comments because
Yes.
they're more entertaining than this movie.
This movie is a big
Bro, maybe
pile
that's
of
what
farts.
they needed to do to control the dinosaurs. Just
Fart
like
in
when
their
the
face.
dinosaurs just like, "Rrrr," they just go, "Oh, really?"
Yeah.
Like just hit it
Because
with
apparently they're
words.
that intelligent.
It reminds
Apparently
me
that's all
of
it takes.
there's a TikTok video, or I don't even know what it is, where it originated from. This dude's talking to his son, and the kid's maybe 2 years old.
Yeah.
And he's just like, blah, blah, blah. He's like, really?
Yeah.
So that's interesting. Yeah, he's
Oh,
like-
it's the
he's
cell
like-
phone?
Black dude?
Yeah,
Yeah,
and he's like,
so good.
And he's like, oh yeah. He's like, oh yeah, maybe. He's like, oh, I didn't even think about that. That's a great idea. And it's really
That's
like that,
really
and
adorable.
I do. And it's the same thing like when people like you don't with the age of the cell phone, it doesn't happen as much anymore. But like when telemarketers and stuff call,
Yeah.
I pick up and I just have a blast with them.
Yeah.
And I'll pretend that I don't understand English or start talking in gibberish or
We got some
it's a lot of
telemarketer
fun.
calls on the podcast I do. Like
Oh,
literally,
okay.
they called our hotline call.
the best.
So I've just started responding to all the hotline calls that we
you
get the
have
spam
to.
for, and just engagement.
I'm telling you, it
Pure
is
chaos.
now. I was going through those comments and I said, you know what? I'm gonna respond.
Today's the day.
And I'm just making myself laugh like an imbecile.
That's all we can hope for.
So anyway, and speaking of humor, there's none of it in this movie. None of that works.
None of it works.
None of it that works. Like there's no the relationship between.
I think I laughed twice, and they were
Yeah.
probably like little Chris Pratt like visual jokes,
Right,
Because
and-
he's always interesting enough.
Yeah, I mean, and the relationship between him and Bryce Dallas Howard, they almost like give up on it.
I hate that every movie has to do the "we fell in love," the sequel means we're estranged. This is the situation. For some reason, it has to change. Like, why can't anyone be happy? Why can't
Be
anyone
together.
raise their kids? Why can't anything? That'd be original. Let a
Just
family.
Well, so they can have the arc of like
Getting
maybe
back
I
together.
was wrong, and we
Yeah.
should get back together.
But the arc of staying together is more interesting at this point in movies. The arc of being together.
I would have even been more into they're together and maybe they're split on what to do for this.
Yeah.
So then they decide
but
to
their
maybe,
love causes conflict. That's more interesting.
that would have
We're
been
separate.
so interesting.
Yeah.
Now you would have actually had me on board because then I can anchor to Chris and she's on the opposite side of this.
Right.
And now
Yeah.
he feels like he has to go to the island because she's going to die in
Right.
on this
I
mission.
did like the line though.
right there.
I did like the line when she
Why didn't we
was,
like
I like that line when she goes, let's go get, let's get a drink. And he goes, did you bring him or we got to go somewhere? I did.
Yeah, the Chris Pratt-isms.
I liked that line, and then you go into it, and it looks like she's hammered, and then they went away from that real quick. But yeah, it's just that they give up on it. Like the very end, she gives him kind of some half-ass kiss at the end. The motivation for the main guy to turn and be the bad guy is terrible. Cromwell, who's an interesting actor, has nothing to do except lay in the bed the whole time and to kind of reveal, when you
Practice for Succession, right?
Yeah,
that'll do, Blue. That'll do.
Yeah, when you go back and you look at like the little looks that he's given to the caretaker, caretaker is great. She disappears.
Yeah,
she's gone
for most of the movie, and then comes back and then is gone.
He fires her. She leaves.
Yep.
He's like, Maisie needs me. And he's like, no, you're fired. Oh, okay. I guess she doesn't need me too much.
I got to twirl my mustache.
Yeah, she shouldn't need me too much. Where are you going? Well,
I've cared about her whole life.
You're not even gonna fight. You're not even gonna fight for her.
No,
nah, you
not even gonna say bye.
Nah, I'm not getting a paycheck anymore.
Yeah,
I'm out.
$15. No.
Yeah, it's like every character in this movie, from our leads to the sub to the extras, so terrible.
Yep. Even
So
the dinosaur
bad.
performances. Like some of the shots of the
Seriously.
dinosaurs, I was like, that's not how a thing moves. This
No.
is CGI. The Brontosaurus or Apatosaurus in this, that is the shot that's supposed to mirror the first one, looks worse than the first movie from 25 years prior.
So speaking of the bad CGI, even though that the first 30 minutes is not that bad, the worst CGI in the entire movie and dumbest is when this lava is chasing
And Chris
Pratt.
a foot from it? How have you ever been around a fire? You can't be that close. Lava's hotter than fire.
And he's jumping into and he jumps. They go from all the way from that cliff and impact and they survive because they're in that ball.
Yeah.
He jumps.
He jumps. He's fine.
After all the smoke in his lungs.
Hey, he was a Marine.
Yeah.
Right?
Was he?
He was a
He
mercenary.
Can hold his lungs for
remember?
8 minutes
I forget.
with
No, I forgot.
smoke in it.
Yeah.
And then he can
Smoke
stab.
lung.
And then with all the pressure,
He can stab.
on the ball, he can stab through the ball as well as shoot the gun.
Yeah,
Right.
shoot the gun, then leverage the knife, all while holding his breath from smoke lung.
Yep.
And fighting dinosaurs that are falling around him.
Yep.
Yeah.
And why were the dinosaurs... Okay, animals don't fight or eat when they're in panic mode.
No.
Why were there any dinosaurs at all attacking them
each other?
while running from volcanoes?
Yep.
And then they were attacking other dinosaurs while attacking them while running from a volcano.
Also, how
That's
did
not how
that
animals
man
act.
survive the stampede under the car at the end? That doesn't make sense. He shouldn't. He
No,
shouldn't
because
even
they wanted
They wanted to get ripped in half.
They
They
want to
want,
get ripped in half, so just let him get ripped
because
in
it was
half.
a trick. Because the whole thing was a trick where he stands up and you're like, oh, that one from that was there he is. There's the T-Rex. And he comes
Yeah,
in. He
it's
might as well
supposed to
just
be a
play the
moment.
Hulk Hogan's theme song because that's how.
Glass breaks, Steve Austin.
That's
comes
what
out
I was
with the
thinking.
T-Rex. It's the glass breaks, but it's not a car.
Because that's pretty much how they.
I got one wrestling reference.
100%. That was he, and the stunner was to rip him in half and then
Yeah.
smack and it's like
Stone Cold.
Well, that's such a Stone Cold move because like
Right?
because after
We need to dump Stone Cold over the T-Rex.
because it was total Stone Cold because someone even came in to help him out
Yeah.
and then he knocked the thing on the floor.
Bro,
It's
the
hilarious.
only thing that would have been funnier is if the T-Rex had come out in an Austin 316 vest.
Oh, yeah.
And then when he was done,
They cut that scene.
His little arms with the cores, like it's
he smashes two humans
T-Rex
together.
316 says, "I just whooped your ass."
He takes his little T-Rex arms
Yeah.
and then just walks off.
And I'm out here. What? To go out here, what? And chew on some legs?
What?
And make sure that I'm gonna
What?
eat some more people?
What?
Run around?
What?
Get me some food?
What?
Go get into the woods?
What?
Jump around real fast?
What?
Get into the next movie?
What?
Find Colin Trevorrow?
What?
And eat that man's face?
Woo!
Because T-Rex 316 says, "I just kicked your ass." Dun, 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 dun.
All right, audience, we need an editor to make this happen. I need that vest. I need that soundtrack.
It's probably gonna be animated.
Put it in- yeah, it's fine.
Fine,
Bring
bring
it.
T-Rex in the thing, dude.
Yeah,
Oh my
I need the
God.
cans. I need the cans
in the
so
ring,
bad.
bro. I need him in the ring.
Yes,
Oh.
because the glass crashing makes the car sound effect work,
Dun, dun,
and then it
dun,
all
dun,
sets
dun,
up.
So we have a video watch a fan who's been watching since Collider Live days. Video Club. I can't remember his full channel, but he takes clips and puts and does that basically.
Yeah.
Like I used to do the Arnold stuff, and he would. I did Arnold as Simba and Mufasa. I think one. It was Mufasa. I did him as Mufasa, and he did this whole clip as Arnold as Mufasa. So I really hope that they.
I mean,
do.
that was a moment. You guys got too deep cut for me, so I just. I was like, I don't need these references. I'll enjoy this as a fan. I just watched the show I'm on for 2 minutes.
There you go.
Oh, this is the big things like to watch. Okay, cool.
100%. 100%.
Oh, man.
Again, all this is better than the movie.
Man, this movie is terrible.
It's just look. This is. We're not gonna lie. This is therapy.
Yeah, this is to get us through our experience.
Because but what I will say is there are certain movies though when you're watching them they're just like, oh my god, will you just end? This was a bad movie that I wanted to. Okay, keep going.
Yeah,
keep going.
especially the first
just give
half.
me ammo. But you're just watching how stupid these people are. Like from every single thing that they do, they're just so very stupid.
Up to the, and again, I get it. They're living beings just like me. When I tell you once again, if that had been a black uncle or auntie that saw that little girl press the button, motherfucker, you gonna let dinosaurs out eating other motherfucker? Like, oh god, dude, that really rubbed me the wrong way. It rubbed me so the wrong way, and I'm like, I get it, you're setting up for this next film. And if it actually had become, if maybe we're wrong about this and it does kind of go Planet of the Apes-ish with it, then I'm actually
Worth
on
the
board.
journey.
It's
that's what they're certainly setting up. And even
based off the trailer, you don't think that's what happened.
The newest trailer was less that, but the first two trailers were that.
it just seems like they're trying to. There's still a lot of coexisting going on.
Yeah.
It seems like they're more running rampant.
Because the last 5 minutes were interesting in this movie.
Yeah,
Or
because
2 minutes.
because Goldblum says it. He's like, "Welcome to Jurassic World."
Yeah.
because
For
that's
real this
because
time,
that's where we're at right now.
How much did that dude get paid for a half day of filming? They literally gave him one monologue
So-
that he was gonna do twice, and they just let him go like, "You're gonna stand here. We're gonna have some extras, and I would like you to monologue as long as you can. We're gonna cut it into the trailer, and you're in this movie. Here's $5 million. Thanks, Jeff."
I mean, look, I literally thought to myself, I was like, man, Jeff must have needed a paycheck or something.
Because like
but good
he
for
didn't
him.
even look like Ian Malcolm. They didn't even try to like
No,
do the
that
sexy
was
doctor
Goldblum.
thing. They just had
That was
Goldblum
just
show
Jeff
up,
Goldblum, yeah.
and Goldblum had like a 5. Like they didn't even let him Goldblum.
No,
he was
which
like tired.
but I think it still worked for the setup of this movie.
Because he was making his money.
Yeah.
No, but like in life now, he's more eccentric. Like
Well, that's also
Goldblum
true.
on
That's
Disney
true.
Plus is more Ian Malcolm
You have
than
a point.
Goldblum in this
You have a
movie.
point.
100%.
Goldblum at a sneaker store
Yes.
is more Ian Malcolm than him in this movie.
Have a point.
It's true.
It was not. It was not a performance. It
No,
was,
he was. No, he's just.
Is that a teleprompter? Okay, cool.
Right.
Life will find a way.
Welcome to Jurassic World.
Like and the pauses are written in. They like write the uhs.
Yeah. It's,
I just
wow.
none of that.
wow.
None of that. And I get like a serious tone diff, but it didn't work because the rest of the movie is so cliche and mustache twirling. It just
And
undermined
Julianne
him.
Moore when she shows up at
I
the
mean,
end.
the Laura Dern scene really surprised me.
really
That she
good.
keeps making sure.
Bitch, I turned that off. Ain't no post credits. Way over my head because the minute it said, I said fuck this, and I turned it off.
I
so if there was
just
a
saw
post-credit-
your eyes through the screen
Yeah.
before I looked up, and you
didn't know what
literally,
was
I
going
saw
on.
you like
So what I
Laura
missed-
Dern.
Here.
Did this?
Apologies. Apologies.
I mean, I will say though, I did like the. Even though I hated the music in this movie, the music in the majority of the score in this movie was so, again, not the composer's fault as much as it was what they were probably asked to do, but like it was such like monster movie music.
Yeah.
It wasn't until like there were a few different times that they peppered in that theme.
Like
and
when they were in the original park or the new park.
They
in,
did it like 3 times.
Yeah.
And every time they did it, I thought it was effective.
Yeah,
I
same.
did think it was effective. And at the end, like even at the very end of it, I thought it worked really well. And not just because, it's familiar, I know that. No, because of what thematically what they were saying. But the rest of the music was so bad.
Yeah, the new stuff didn't work because I think that people got 2 directions. I think the director, composer, and all of them were told to make a monster movie, and then they were trying to make a Jurassic Park movie. And then when you smush those things together, it is the Frankenstein you think it is, but not a good one. Like
No.
it feels like a hodgepodge. And the fact that this movie feels like 2 movies isn't healthy. Like,
No.
the fact that there's
No.
two
Feels like
It-
3, dude.
yeah,
That's
the opening
real
sequence,
problem.
then the island,
Right.
and then the spooky
Right.
vampire.
Right. And because the thing is that they didn't know what to do and
And
who.
a superhero film.
Yeah, well, they
Yeah,
didn't,
Chris
but-
Pratt getting
and
powers.
and Fast 9.
Blue.
Yeah. Well, they
yeah,
didn't-
there's some Fast and Furious
totally.
influence
But
for
they
sure.
didn't know. They didn't know like the villain becomes the monster dinosaur at the end because
Again.
they need again, and they needed
And they
something.
made the same dinosaur and they changed nothing. They're like, we're gonna combine a raptor and a T-Rex, but T-Rexier. Like
Yeah.
they literally were just
It's-
like,
you know
we're
what
gonna
it
cook it
lost,
up. It's a
though?
prototype.
And even though the first movie had to scale back on it because it was more Spielberg to where they wanted to make it a little more universal. The book is like a straight up horror book when you read it. The first movie still had those horror elements, right? Like even when it was kind of creepy,
Like the kitchen. And
there's
goat?
nothing scary about this. Like
goat's scary as hell
Yes,
in the original.
There's nothing scary about this movie at all. Like even this, because the creepy monster is so fake and so like they just threw it in there because it's like, oh well, now they've gotten one step over of doing just another crazy dinosaur, but this one's smarter because
He
it
smiles at the camera.
Yeah, it's like, oh, he faked him out.
Bro.
He faked him out.
The fact that the dinosaur opened his eye and essentially
That was right.
At us.
At us.
And
Right
smile.
before he eats Buffalo Bill, I'm like,
Well,
bruh.
did you
Does
hear the
it twice.
dialogue?
Does it twice?
Yeah, he looked over and he said, "I got him."
Yeah.
Waves his tail. Got him, guys.
Twice. And
Got
he does
him.
a stupid thing with his tail twice.
Twice.
You see that one? You didn't say it. It's like did you see that one?
I could not believe they did it again. I was like, what is this camp
That,
movie choice?
that would have been the only thing that would have been amazing is all of a sudden that dinosaur started speaking in like a Rodney Dangerfield voice. Hey,
Yeah.
hey, I got
I
no
got-
respect.
Oh,
no
yeah.
respect.
Oh,
No
yeah.
respect.
You missed it. You should have looked over here.
Also, how long was Homeboy going to let him pull at his tooth? How long was Homeboy, like,
Yeah.
literally he's drawing at him, and he's like, haha, this is nice for me.
Well, the last person that tried to pull my tooth didn't work out too good for them either.
And then I married her, and that was my last wife.
That's right.
God, dude, I just
Man, brutal.
you it makes you wonder. I mean, how much money did this do? That's my
It made a lot, dude.
That's why.
It-
So that's remember we went over this the last time because
We're
that's
the problem.
Because as I said, where you're like, oh, why don't you just combine it and do that for the second movie? And they go, because stupid.
We want another billion.
This made $1.6 billion. And now that movie that you wanted in the last one, we'll do that now and get to $1 billion. So shut up.
Yeah,
and they're
we're
wrong.
taking
They're
our
not
time.
wrong.
It
Yeah.
still made a billy.
It made more than $1 billion.
It made more than the first one, I think.
No,
No,
it
did not.
It
It
did
did
make
drop.
more than
Okay,
the first when we looked at it last time, but it wasn't a big drop.
Okay.
Like we thought because we were comparing
The
the
first
number.
three big drop each one.
We
that's
thought
right.
each one was going like a big drop. This still made like 1.3 or 1.4 billion. That's
What
a
do you-
massive
Which is a
success.
unique number.
What do you think did it? Is it just because it's Jurassic Park? Is it because Chris Pratt? Is it a combination?
I
of the
think
both?
people really enjoyed. A lot of people really enjoyed going back there to the first movie, but I think a lot of people the only reason I would say I don't think there's going to be what they did that was very smart was playing off the trend that's happening right now, whether it's Cobra Kai or Top Gun or anything.
Nostalgia,
They're
man.
bringing back those legacy characters. If they didn't have those legacy characters in this one, I would say we're looking at a really a much bigger drop.
Yeah,
but
since
because
they're
you're
back-
bringing them all back together,
You think they
I don't
sensed
think
it?
we're gonna have. Well, I think they said they needed something. They needed something big, and I think that by doing that, they're going to be in a good spot.
Yeah.
I don't think this movie's going to lose that much, if not make maybe as much as the first one, because there's nothing else out now. Because the summer is so
June is so weird.
because of the last couple of years.
Yeah.
And where we are in the world and the way that when we were in 2019, the summer movie season was starting in like early April because we were so compact with so many releases.
Yeah.
Once 2020 hit, and then there were no movies that came out in 2020 basically in summer at all.
Yeah.
And then 2021, I think one or two, if any. Now that we're starting 2022 and it's starting to go back, it's like it's a reset. So like you get like one movie every other.
There's no like the competition was weirdly all the indies. Like there was that one week where
Yeah.
Everything Everywhere, the Nick Cage movie, Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent, and something else were all competing, and then Sonic was owning.
Well, but
like,
that was
that's
still
the
not
only-
summer season
That's
yet.
what I'm saying is like we didn't have a summer conflict. We had a spring indie conflict, which I'd never seen
Right,
before.
and not even
all
big,
of these
massive.
all the
Right.
art house films competing is weird because
Right.
that's usually sprinkled.
Right.
As opposed to now, the summer movies are so drawn out. We have time to do all these.
Well, you got Doctor Strange, which is the big one. That's good, and nobody wants because there's not a lot of competition right now and not a lot of other big releases. They're like, well, let's just stay out of that one's way for a little
Yeah.
bit, and then Top Gun is like the next big one.
yeah, I think it's Doctor Strange Firestarter is the next biggest
But
thing,
that's
which is
not
a
that.
$10 million Blumhouse.
and that comes out right, and that's streaming on Peacock.
Right.
So that doesn't even
And then
even
2
count.
weeks Top Gun. But
then
like
Top
June
Gun.
never has one movie a week. This one is spread out.
Right. So June has then Jurassic World, which
Yep.
is the big one. Then that lives by itself for a while.
Because early July is Thor, and we have time to watch
Yeah,
Thor.
July is Thor and Minions. Those are like
Right.
the two big ones, and like it's so spaced out. We will get back to a place where it's like two in that weekend, and boom, boom, boom.
The
boom,
fact
boom.
that we have time to watch Top Gun and Toy Story before
all
Thor,
that. Right,
like,
Lightyear's
that's
another
not
one.
yeah, and
Right.
but like that's not normal.
No, and I think that's my point. Why I think because people are going to the movies now.
Yeah.
Again, Jurassic World Dominion
Will be
is
a
going to
big
make a
draw.
lot of money. It's
Yeah.
going to make a lot of money.
And it'll have legs.
Unless it's like
really bad,
Dude,
I mean, dude,
look what
this
this
movie
one
was
did.
really
1.3 billion people still saw it
yeah,
in droves.
Dinosaurs and Jeff Goldblum.
And Chris Pratt.
Yeah,
people
you
love
know.
the Pratt except for Mario fans.
Yeah, it's
I actually heard that the original screenings, the people were liking that.
Yeah?
I know we're a ways off, but people were saying it's not bad.
I love them in Lego movies, just not Mario. I'm gonna be there. It's just a weird choice to have it be Garfield and
Yeah,
Mario.
it's so funny. People were going nuts about that, and I just said the thing that I stick by. I don't care.
Yeah.
Who
cares?
No. But the reason why I ask is because I don't think Eternals was bad by any stretch of the imagination. But I know that it was very mixed for people.
Oh, yeah.
And it did, to my knowledge, it did not hit $1 billion.
Coy, they don't know.
Yeah, me and Kristian are the biggest fans of Eternals.
That like it.
No, but that's what I'm saying. It did not hit $1 billion. So
No.
I'm telling you,
No, it didn't.
Because
It
of
didn't
the pandemic, I understand we're
People
kind of
might
going
be
back
more-
to stuff. If it's not good, people might be like,
Oh,
I'm
wait a
good.
minute, but you're not.
Eternals and Jurassic are different audiences.
But no, not just that. You're forgetting two massive things here. That movie came out in October.
In November, yeah.
October, November,
Yeah.
right? And that's kids are still in school.
Sure.
Things that June's right in the summer season. Kids
Right.
love dinosaurs.
And what's going to stop them from being like, Daddy, let's go see Lightyear for the 50th time?
Maybe, but I'm telling you, man, because the answer to that is then the parent going, well, I'd rather see the dinosaurs because that's more my speed.
It's everyone versus. Whereas, like, we're excited for Lightyear, but there's not, not everyone.
I don't know, because remember, you're still playing off of nostalgia. So
Yeah,
there's a
that's
lot
true.
of people that are.
I think they're both gonna be-
Lightyear. I'm hearing Oscar buzz for Lightyear.
Wow.
Like
best picture.
Best Picture.
So
Oscar buzz.
beyond
Wow.
Yeah.
animated. Wow.
That's from what they showed like 45 minutes or something at CinemaCon.
Okay.
So
I think that one's going to hit like 700 to 800.
like a
I
lot.
think Jurassic's going to hit $1 billion.
let's see. Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, once again, bringing up box office here domestically. So it only costs, and I say only cost, but for this movie, it really isn't only cost. It only cost $170 million compared to all the other movies that are being made. And this was 2018 when it came out.
Yeah.
$170 million. Domestically, it made $417 million. Almost 418.
So we'll say 350 with marketing.
And domestic opening.
That's what I was gonna say.
150.
That's insane. The fact
It-
that you
it
almost
made
made
almost
back
its production
your,
budget.
You almost made back
In
your production
opening
budget
weekend.
opening weekend.
And
And then
when-
domestic, you made back your marketing.
And that's in 2018 when it probably did go up against something. It's
Right.
going up against nothing.
Exactly.
It's going
2018. Oh, dude, you're in the
That year
middle of
was
all of it.
nuts.
That's
That's what I'm
what
saying.
Ant-Man and the Wasp, Black Panther was still
That's
in
what I'm
theaters.
saying. It's
like,
well, yeah, but that was February when I came out. But it was
no,
still,
but it was still
it was still in theaters.
But
yeah.
Ant-Man and the Wasp came out around the time that this came out.
But there were movies that were coming out every week.
yeah.
Two maybe the same weekend.
Wasn't Infinity War competing with this?
I don't know.
Oh, yes.
Infinity War.
Infinity War was
Summer of
still out.
Infinity War.
Yeah, right.
This would have been. That would have been
That's
May. This is what.
April. It came out the end of April.
End of
Infinity
April, but
War.
this is June. That's 5 weeks after Infinity War.
But
that's insane.
That's what I'm saying. So it's still, and it's. I mean, it's still the argument. Well, it's going up against Doctor Strange, but Doctor Strange has no competition.
Right. And it's gonna get its run out in the next
This
2
has
weeks.
no competition. So it made 417 million. Fallen Kingdom, that is, 892 internationally. Right. The question is, as far as there are some, like Doctor Strange, I think, was banned in some countries.
Yeah.
So I don't know about the billion or how close it gets, but this movie made 1.3.
I still think
billion.
900 for Doctor Strange.
Yeah, but
Even though
this-
it opens strong, I do think 900 is reasonable.
But this made 1.3 billion. And let's see the first one, once again, 1.3 was the first, 1.6.
Not a big drop, considering.
It's 1.6 and 1.3, and then Dominion's
I'm
going
guessing 200 budget.
probably bigger. Probably be. They don't have. They don't have it
Runtime
listed
plus
here.
cast, maybe
But
bigger.
that's the reason why I think it's gonna. If it makes a little less, is because of the runtime.
Yeah.
Because it's so long. But again,
27.
it's got no competition.
Yeah.
Like
Well, like I said, we have time to watch Toy Story and Thor.
I am very curious now. June 2018 summer.
I'm
movie.
looking at it right now. So, Upgrade, obviously not
No.
huge. Hereditary,
Nah.
Ocean's 8.
What came out the week before?
Before Ocean's 8?
No, the week before.
Before what? So this came out what time? Sorry. Incredibles 2 was out that year.
Probably, yeah, but I'm trying to
That
think
made
on the weekend
gangbusters.
of.
That was the weekend before was Incredibles 2.
Oh, yeah, right. So
Incredibles 2,
That's a
Tag,
major- that's a
Gotti.
major
So
competition.
that goes to your point of the Lightyear thing. It went up against Incredibles 2, which did very well.
And then it was followed by Uncle Drew, Sicario, Day of the
Okay.
Soledad.
So it didn't have too much competition inside of
The first Purge on July
it.
4th.
Okay, so still.
Ant-Man and the Wasp July 6th.
so it had
so
3
it had-
weeks. It had a
about a
3 week.
month.
So at a month, it had a month. So this and this movie. So then this movie has the same about a month before Thor comes out.
But the Purge and those things, though not big, are dense.
Yeah,
this
they-
has no dents.
There's no dent.
There's literally nothing to
No,
fight it. Like
no.
Purge and Incredibles more affecting, I think, than what this is going to get.
I think this movie has a big opening. I think that, and I also think the other thing that's working went in 2018.
Right, it wasn't even a month. It was 2 weeks.
It was 2 weeks.
2 weeks, right? Yeah.
But listen, also
It's a very different thing.
yeah, and also 2018. And there's still obviously comic book movies, whether it's Spider-Man or Doctor Strange, they're still doing very well.
Yeah.
But I do think, and I think that people throw around comic book fatigue too much, but I do think that there is this kind of exhaustion from some people that the casual, like there are the hardcore fans that are going to see it, and no matter what, because they're invested in it since the lock.
Yeah.
And I don't believe in crapping on those people or the people who make those movies just because you're not into it. But there are a lot of people that are going, that I've saw, they're going, yeah, I liked it for a while. I want something else. And I think it's a reason why that Sandra Bullock movie did well. I think it's a reason the Top Gun is going to do well. And I think it's one of the reasons this movie is going to do well.
And I do think that that's why the front-loaded Doctor Strange, that's why I think it's going to land at 900, even though it's already at 550. Yeah. I do think there's going to be, like, everyone that, like, is a diehard has seen it in the first 2 weeks, and then there'll be a trickle-down. Like, there will be a drop in the second to third bracket, and that's when Jurassic Park can swing in.
All right, listen. We did what we can do.
We tried. We got box office.
You got to start talking box office sometimes,
At some point, the movie runs out.
Otherwise, little girls going to come up here and just let dinosaurs out and hide in the bed and just let the whole world get murked and whatnot. Dude trying to surf for the first time. You remember Surf Ninjas where you had Tone Loc talking about brothers don't surf, and now he's scared because there's a damn Meg in the goddamn water? It's all you, little girl. It's your fault, not the actress. You did a wonderful job. I am so proud of you. I hope you were doing all the blockbusters, but your character dumb as shit.
And then I'm going to show up right in the middle of watching Laura Dern get out of her Jeep.
What?
I'm going to look at Sam Neill.
What?
I'm going to tell Sam Neill.
What?
To get out there and grab a beer, you son of a bitch, because here comes a T-Rex.
What? Oh my God.
T-Rex 316.
T-Rex 316, bro.
All right, so we need you guys, by the way, to suggest once again, what the hell are we watching next week?
Singular movie, because Top Gun's in 2 weeks. So what's a singular movie next week?
Because it might be if there's not a good one that we can watch that ties into
Top
it.
Gun early.
And no, we'll probably just wind up doing like just a news piece or preview piece or something too. But I want to get suggestions from people. As we mentioned, comments are. Like when you comment and when you like the video, even if, because there's a lot of people that aren't necessarily watching the Jurassic Park rewatches right away because they're missing out. If you didn't watch this one, you're definitely missing out. But if you are watching it and you're responding to it and you're clicking like and you're commenting on the video and I respond back, it really helps more people be aware. But that's it. All right, listen, it's the show. It's Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. I will never watch this movie again.
We could watch Downton Abbey.
Oh my God! No, we're good. We're good.
We start Toy Story early, because.